This is VOA News. I'm Liz Pelka. The head of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Kevin McAleenan, is disputing reports of inadequate conditions in crowded detention centers along the U.S.-Mexico border. At the same time, some members of Congress are calling for improved treatment of migrants in U.S. custody. McAleenan and U.S. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib appeared on ABC's This Week Sunday. VOA's Marcus Harton has more.
McAleenan said reports of unsanitary conditions and inadequate food and water were unsubstantiated.
So we've done a tremendous amount. Since December 30th, when we last talked about this, we had 20 medical providers in our facilities, border-wide. Now we have over 200. We've built soft-sided temporary facilities.
I mean, what I saw was a number of people at 14, up to 14 in one area, sleeping on the floors. A number of them saying they don't bathe within 15 days.
Representative Rashida Tlaib was part of a congressional delegation that toured the Clint, Texas border station last week. Marcus Harton, VOA News, Washington.
McAleenan said 500,000 people have crossed the southern border just this year. Speaking to reporters at Joint Base Andrews, President Donald Trump says he's going to organize press trips to the detention centers on the border. He spoke while standing near an aircraft.
Fans at watch parties across.
Trump says he believes migrants are being treated well compared to the poverty they came from. Trump is sending a warning to Iran. You better be careful. This comes as Iran announces it is boosting its uranium enrichment beyond the limits set in the 2015 nuclear deal. Trump made his comments hours after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo commented. This is VOA News. The United States has won the Women's World Cup for the fourth straight time, beating the Netherlands 2-0 in the Sunday's final. AP correspondent Ben Thomas reports.
Fans at watch parties across the U.S., like those heard here in Kansas City, courtesy KCTV, erupted with cheers when Megan Rapinoe coolly drilled home a penalty kick, giving the U.S. the lead in the 61st minute. Then more cheers just 8 minutes later as emerging midfield star Rose Lavelle powered to the edge of the penalty area and hit a low strike past the Netherlands keeper to cement the 2-0 victory. Rapinoe scored 6 goals in the tournament, earning her the Golden Boot and powering the U.S. to its record 4th Women's World Cup title. I'm Ben Thomas.
5 days after a Libyan detention center for migrants was bombed, killing more than 50 people, a hunger strike inside the compound reached its third day. One protester being held at the detention center told VOA, quote, "We don't need to eat. We didn't touch the food. We need to be out of Libya." The airstrikes hit the detention center late Tuesday after international organizations warned both sides of Libya's ongoing war that civilians were held at the location. Pope Francis invited the crowd gathered in St. Peter's Square Sunday to join him in prayer for those who were killed or injured in Libya. The Pope sang in Italian, "I hope that the humanitarian corridors for the most needy migrants will be organized in an extended and concerted way." Emergency workers in the U.S. town of Ridgecrest, California, are assessing the damage after a second major earthquake struck the desert community northeast of Los Angeles Friday night. Mike O'Sullivan reports on the 7.1 magnitude quake for VOA.
Friday's quake was felt across Southern California and into neighboring Nevada to the east.
Oh, my God.
Seismologists say Friday's earthquake was 10 times more powerful than Thursday's, which measured magnitude 6.4.
The quake did last for some time. It was felt widely.
The larger size of the quake meant the tremblers that came before it, including the 6.4, are now classified as pre-shocks. Aftershocks continue to shake the region. Emergency workers have dealt with fires and water and gas leaks.
Obviously, 34 hours in between earthquakes, we're concerned about future aftershocks and where they're going to be.
Mike O'Sullivan, VOA News, Los Angeles.
And we have more international headlines for you on voanews.com. Go there for the very latest. I'm Liz Pelka, VOA News.